So what's going on, guys? The truck guy here. Today I wanted to get back to you with another review, and today I wanted to review the HYDE 17-in-1 Painter's Multi-Tool. If you're into tools, knives, and tackling jobs around the house and yard, please check out my channel and hit that subscribe button, guys. Alright guys, so the HYDE 17-in-1 Painter's Multi-Tool. Guys, you're probably wondering, like I am, how did they get 17 tools into this painter's tool? I just reviewed the Husky 15-in-1 painter's tool, and I thought that was crazy, guys, that they got 15 tools in, and I argued in that video they probably could have upped it to 19, so maybe Husky can one-up HYDE. We will see, but I think HYDE's got they're in the front runner's position, guys. I haven't seen anything more than 17 tools, so this is going to run you a little bit more than the 15-in-1 painter's tool from Husky. That was about $750, and this, guys, at Home Depot is $940. So it's going to run you a couple dollars more to get access to these couple of extra tools. So HYDE's, they've got a bit of a premium on this tool to get your 17-in-1. But guys, when I looked at this tool, it was not apparent what the 17 tools were. So let's go ahead and walk through the 17 tools, and I'll let you guys know what I think. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and check out the 17 tools. So up here in the corner, guys, you've got a crack opener. This can be a pretty handy tool when you're on a painting job. A lot of times there's something you encounter where you've got to do a little prying, a little picking away at, a little demo, maybe some backwards scraping, a corner you've got to get into. So I find this tool to be pretty helpful, guys. It's a nice tool to have in your arsenal, so kind of a nice feature there on the HYDE tool. That's tool number 1. 2 and 3 are your classic scraper and spreader, and this is a very stiff tool here, guys, just as an FYI. So it's not going to be, maybe quite as useful for spreading compounds, something like that, but it is going to be useful for putting some force in and doing some paint scraping. So those are two tools that, again, scraping, that's going to be very nice with this tool. Spreading, you can still do it, but probably not quite as nice of a feature on this tool because it's very stiff. Then kind of on the end here, guys, you've got your paint can opener, so you jam it in your paint can and open it up. That's an extremely useful tool on the job rather than having to grab a flathead screwdriver, something of that nature. So then it's got a large roller cleaner, and guys, I've commented on this before, but it's not something I use often to scrape down my rollers and get out that extra paint. Just as a DIYer, it's just not something I am worried about. It's more completing the job rather than conserving paint. It's there if you need it, but the problem with this, guys, is it takes up a lot of surface area. So when I'm talking about spreading, it's not as good of a spreader because you're losing a lot of that surface area that you want to kind of hold your extra compound or your extra putty, things of that nature. So you've got the roller cleaner, but again, not the most helpful tool. Then down here you've got the 3/4 inch wrench, and there's 2 of these on the 15-in-1 Husky tool as well, and guys, I don't see myself using these. It's really hard to get leverage in an area and get this tool flat enough to really get a good use of it. If you've got something freestanding that you can use that wrench on, I think it may be more useful, but I've never seen a use for it. Comment down below if you use these tools on here, but again, I don't use them often. They're there. I know they're trying to come up with tools, but not probably the best use of these multi-tools and the space that's on them. So then we'll jump down here to the bottom. You've got a hammer end, and I am impressed with HYDE on this hammer end. It's a very substantial surface. Maybe not quite as flat as the Husky 15-in-1, but you've got a large surface area here, and what you're going to use this mainly for is just closing up paint cans. But with this much surface area, you're going to be able to bang on some stuff too, and you know, set some nails, things of that nature. So a nice feature here from HYDE with the hammer end, guys. So then jumping back up here on the paddle, you've got a mini roller cleaner. Again, guys, I don't see myself using that, especially the mini. You know, it's there if you need it. And then additionally up here, guys, you've got the 11/16 inch wrench. So if you've got that size, you can use it, but again, not something that I'm going to use very often. And then up top here, coming back around, they've got the bottle opener. So HYDE's also got you covered to open the bottle at the end of your job. I kind of ripped Husky a little bit for their bottle opener. I didn't think it'd be as useful on a painter's tool. I like the feature a little bit more on a utility knife, but I actually did end up using it, and it worked out well. So I think, you know, I'm going to give HYDE credit. I'm going to give Husky credit for the bottle opener. I think that's a fun feature, guys. So it's up top here on the HYDE. I think that's, you know, I think that works, guys. So nice job there from HYDE. And then also it's got the nail puller in the middle here. It's a dual pronged nail opener, unlike the Husky that's only got one prong. So, you know, I think that's a nice feature from HYDE. I don't use that. You know, you can use it in conjunction with a hammer, as I mentioned in my other video, but it's not something I use too often. I kind of get those nails out of the way early on a paint job, but it's there if you need it, guys. So then, you're probably wondering, where are the last 6 tools? Guys, they're in the handle. So let's go ahead and get the handle open here, and we'll see what we've got inside. So we've got this tool here. I looked it up, and it's called an AWL, A-W-L. So it's kind of a versatile tool. It's in the bit holder here on the HYDE tool. And really the two main functions of this are, number one, you can set nails with it. So, you know, if you're working on trim, something of that nature, and you've got a small nail, you can set it on that nail and then use this to pound in your nail and have your trim work looking nice. You know, I actually find this to be a really possibly useful tool because, you know, a nail setter isn't something you always have on you. So this is definitely a nice feature from HYDE. And then additionally, they noted that this can be used as a scribe. So if you need to mark lines anywhere, you can use this. You know, I could see myself maybe using that tool a little bit. You know, so that's fairly cool from HYDE as well. They're definitely thinking outside the box with this 17-in-1, which I like a lot. And it's held in a little magnetic bit holder here on the back, so that's a very cool feature from HYDE as well. So let's take that out and let's take a look at the other bits that we've gotten here. We'll see if we can get them out, guys. A little stuck in there. Try to give it a bang. Alright guys, we're going for the pliers. We're going for the pliers. These are really wedged in there and it's hard to get them out, the flathead. So we'll give HYDE a pass there. I may have put it in a little too strongly. But you've got 2 Phillips, one a little bit smaller than the other, and 2 flatheads, same thing, one a little bit smaller than the other, and you can just pop these right into the magnetic bit holder. So it's not an overly strong magnet, guys, but it's going to hold it in there. I'm a little surprised they went with the magnet versus some kind of locking feature on the bit, because I think that'd be a little bit stronger. So I thought it'd be good to test out the functionality of a screwdriver like this, because I'm not sure how much torque, how much leverage you can really get with a small bit like this in a holder. But actually, as you guys can see, I pre-drilled this hole so it wouldn't be too tough, but that actually works, guys. I kind of set this up thinking that wouldn't work out, but it actually works. It's actually not a bad screwdriver in a pinch. I don't think I'd pick it over my regular screwdriver, but in a pinch, guys, that's going to get the job done for you. And I like that they've got 4 bits, because you don't always know what size you're going to need, depending on what type of screw you encounter. And really, guys, I think HYDE could add a couple more tools. I mean, this could be a pry tool. It's really kind of endless what you can use these bits for. The one other thing I was going to check on, guys, and I'll jump over here to some of my bits, is to see if it takes, other bits. Let me grab a socket here and see if it takes that. Not the best, guys, but in a pinch you could throw other bits in here and go at it. So certainly a versatile tool there from HYDE. I initially wasn't overly impressed with this because it seemed a little gimmicky, guys, but HYDE, they've done a really nice job with this painter's tool here, guys. So I would recommend going flathead side down. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to get these bits out if you do that. And just kind of set them in there with the Phillips side up. See if this works, guys. We'll pop in that tool and then I think I'm sticking out a little bit. Try going Phillips down. Maybe that's the preferred way that you should go in. So a little bit of a tight fit, guys. Not the biggest fan of that tight fit, but the bottom cover goes on well. You're gonna get a little wiggle there on the back end, but nothing too terrible. I thought it would be worse, guys, and I thought you'd really be able to feel kind of what's going on in the handle there. But it holds together well, surprisingly well, and it feels pretty good in the hand. So we'll put the hammer back up, and I wanted to pull out the 15-in-1 for a minute here and talk about kind of the comparison between the knives. The biggest one that I noticed is grip, guys. So the 15-in-1 is going to have a slimmer grip, but it's got that really nice husky material that feels really good in the hand. So it's a little bit slimmer, a little bit more kind of versatile. You can kind of roll it up in your palm a little bit easier. You can spin it a little bit easier. That's kind of what I'm noticing with the Husky 15-in-1 is it's a little bit more nimble. But that is something I like when I'm painting, to be able to flip this around and really have that tool at my fingertips. The HYDE, it's a little bit wider and thinner. It doesn't spin as well in the hand. And I think that's a disadvantage, guys. And these two tools are similar, but I think that's a disadvantage to not be able to flip this tool in your hand as easily. If you like something a little wider, you may like this, but again, guys, that husky in the hand, this thing just flips around, and that material, Husky knocked it out of the park with that material and the design of that handle. HYDE, they still have some work to do there. It just does not feel quite as good in the hand. But guys, where HYDE knocked it out of the park on their tool is, you know, the paddle up top. It just feels a little bit higher quality, the material up here, than the Husky. So, you know, I think Huskies, they've also got a stiff, nice material, but just, you know, the metal that's being used here by HYDE just seems to be a little bit higher quality than what I'm seeing from Husky, and that may account a little bit for the price difference because HYDE is a little bit more. So that paddle, I think the advantage goes to HYDE. The biggest difference in terms of the actual tool, guys, is right here in the corner, and that's where I started both reviews, right up in the corner. And that's really where the rubber meets the road, guys, because up here on the Husky, your tool is going to be a concave scraper, and that's a huge tool if you're painting. And I initially didn't think that was a great tool here on the Husky 15-in-1, but that's really come to save me multiple times on paint jobs, is to be able to scrape out some boards, things that aren't perfectly flat. You can get that concave scraper in there, guys, and that's going to save you on a lot of jobs. The HYDE tool, you've got kind of more of a pick, a cutter up here, and that can serve you well, but you're not going to get a lot of versatility up here in this corner. It's kind of got one function, and that's kind of your pick, your crack opener. But with Husky, you've really got two functions, because you've got your concave scraper and you've got your pick up top. So I think that's a big advantage for the Husky. Now, in terms of screwdrivers, guys, and dual functionality, HYDE's got the clear advantage here. They knocked it out of the park with this lower feature and the bit holder. You know, they just really did a good job. I think this is really going to come in handy for some guys that need these extra tools. Having them on you like that, that's a lifesaver. Husky, you know, they've got their ninja blade in here, as I call it. You know, which is the 4 Phillips screwdrivers is what they describe it as. I think it could be 4 Phillips, 4 flatheads, but you know, they just go with 4 tools. But being in the handle there, it's just less versatile. To be able to work with an actual bit and to get 3 bits out of the gate right in this tool, that's pretty crazy from HYDE. So guys, that's some of the difference between the HYDE 17-in-1 and the Husky 15-in-1. I would say pick up either of these tools, but guys, I've outlined some of the biggest differences, so think about those differences and think about what tool you want. HYDE is going to run about $2 more expensive from Home Depot, but I don't think you can go wrong with either tool. Pick up one before your next painting job for sure, guys. So that's it. Please hit me up with a like or subscribe if you can, and as always, we'll talk to you on the next video.